Hi, Melissa Bergren with Academy Mortgage, and I want to thank you for taking some time to watch this video. This video is going to be really about homebuyers education, how you can get ready and prepared to buy a house. And I'm going to blend it and put it in conjunction with Habitat for Humanity. I personally work with Habitat for Humanity in Kittitas County. And there is a build week happening, a women's build week happening, and it's going to be in conjunction with the King County Habitat for Humanity and Kittitas County Habitat for Humanity in Washington State. So I am super honored to be able to be a part of helping women, specifically because it's a women's build week, but specifically for anyone who's interested in becoming a Habitat for Humanity family, and answering questions regarding the home loan part of buying a Habitat for Humanity home, what it takes, how you can get prepared, and and hopefully like maybe I can give even some guidance on maybe some best practices. So this is kind of what I'm hoping to tackle in this video. Let me just start by introducing myself again. My name is Melissa Bergren. I work for Academy Mortgage in Ellensburg, Washington, which is Central Washington, licensed in all of Washington State. And I do help people buy houses, finance houses, first-time home buyers, second homes, vacation homes, investment homes, refinance their home to either get a better rate, pull cash out. Maybe they're going to do some improvements, remodel work, maybe use that equity that they have in their house to buy an investment property or a vacation house. So several different types of loans that I help people with, but I do focus on purchases. And especially today, we're going to be discussing what it takes and how you can be prepared to buy your first house. That's what I'm hoping to tackle. I've been doing home loans for about 9 years, and I don't want to say I've seen it all, but I have seen a lot. And so there's never any reason to, I don't know, be shy or embarrassed or think that, you're, be afraid. I think that's common. I think people tell themselves no quite a bit. So this is going to be a great video you can watch in your own home or on your phone when you're on your lunch break, and you can get enough information to realize that you probably can reach out, and let's get started. I wanted to go ahead and just tell a story, my story. The first time that I knew my family owned a house was when I was 5 years old, and I grew up in Federal Way, Washington. And my family had just moved to this little cul-de-sac in the Twin Lakes area. And my parents could, they stretched to buy this house. And so they couldn't afford the yard, right? So that happens where you are just so lucky to have a house and you're like, we'll do the yard ourselves. We'll do the yard later. So I clearly remember it was the first time in this house I got my own bedroom. And there was a lot of kids in the neighborhood, similar age. So I'm 5 years old, and I knew there was a little girl that lived right behind this house. And I don't know if we had a fence there or not, but it rains a lot in that area. And so the ground was really muddy. And so my dad had laid down boards. And I mean, I'm sure it was like hodgepodge, like just different size boards. But I was just a little girl. So I walked on the little boards across the muddy yard and got to this neighbor's house. And I knocked on her door and I said, "Hi, I'm Melissa. Do you want to play?" Her name is Allison. And to this day, we are friends. And we were best friends from that point forward, all through my childhood. And I just love remembering that. My parents did sell that house when I was about 18 years old. So we lived there a long time. And it was a great time. It was a great place to live. And I am so excited. I think about you, and I think about your family and the memories that your children get to make in your next house or your first house. So it's such an honor. I should start by saying thank you to Habitat for Humanity for asking me to partner on this video. I really hope that this video is really useful. And Kelly Vanderberg at the Kittitas County Habitat for Humanity, thank you for involving me, for allowing me to be a part of it. It is it means a lot. Thank you. Okay, well, gosh, I think the first thing I want to do is just tackle some of the verbiage, some of the wording, because when this is what I do, right? So this is my job. I talk about home loans all the time, and most people do not. That is not normal. So we're going to just kind of go over some of the words that are used, and I'm going to just pull out some notes here. Okay. So I think what I want to do is talk about credit report. I want to talk about some of the Habitat for Humanity guidelines when it comes to credit. We'll talk about DTI, which is debt to income. We're going to talk about what's in a mortgage payment. And we'll talk about, I think those are going to be the starting points. So let's get started. First of all, we'll talk about the credit report. When you start the home loan application process and you want to become a Habitat for Humanity family, we're going to need to make sure that you qualify for a home loan. That is step one. And so when you and I have a chance to meet, we are going to pull your credit. And what are we going to be looking for? Well, let me tell you. We're going to be looking for a minimum credit score of 620. That happens to be the credit score that Habitat for Humanity requires right now. And that is also right now during COVID, my Academy Mortgage's minimum credit score as well. So that is oftentimes, and maybe down the road, I will be able to do home loans again for credit scores that go down to 580, which is has been FHA's minimum credit score. But that is lower than what Habitat for Humanity's guidelines are, okay? So just letting you know that 620 is not always the minimum score for an FHA loan, but it is the minimum score for a Habitat for Humanity home loan, okay? In addition to having a credit score, we do need to make sure that there's no liens and judgments against you. If you're not sure if you have one, I can certainly pull credit anytime for someone and tell you if you have them, okay? Usually people say that they would know if they have liens or judgments, but if a person doesn't know and would like to know, I'm always able to help you. So there should be some contact information about how to reach out to me down below or where you found this video, like if you're finding it on YouTube or if you're finding it on the Habitat for Humanity website. So go ahead and feel free to reach out to me if you have questions on that, specifically for yourself. I want to go ahead and just grab my Habitat for Humanity guidelines. If there's a bankruptcy in your past, Habitat for Humanity does require that it's 4 years behind you. And that is from the, not from when you file, but from when it is like recorded. So, or discharged, okay? What else? On a credit, I'll tell you a little bit about credit score in general, is that sometimes people will ask, what makes good credit, or how can I improve my credit, or what are you looking for when you look at credit score? And I'll tell you that credit scores are an indication that you pay your bills on time, which I always say that you open your mail and you pay your bills. It doesn't mean that you make a lot of money or you don't make a lot of money. In fact, I've had borrowers that don't make a lot of money have absolutely perfect credit, and I've had doctors that have bad credit. So it's nothing to do with income and everything to do with the habit of I open my mail and I have some sort of schedule that reminds me to pay my bills on time. Okay, let's talk about what reports to a credit report and what doesn't report to a credit report. And you may know this, but I just think that it's really nice to just make sure that I'm not assuming that you do know it, okay? Because it's important, especially right now, because there's a little bit of a gray area on this. So historically, what reports to a credit report would be a car loan, a motorcycle loan, a credit card, student loans, debts that you had to apply for, okay, and then get approved for. But nowadays, you can do something which is called self-report your utilities. And this is actually really useful because some people feel like, I really do pay my bills on time, but I just don't have any debt. And why is that a negative? Why do I have bad credit? Because I don't have debt. It's a great question. So right now, and I don't know when this started, I think it started at sometime during 2020. I don't feel like it's been happening this long, but you can actually have your electrical bill, your cell phone bill, your maybe a water bill. You can have your utilities reporting to credit reporting agencies, and then that can actually create a payment like history. And that's really what credit score is. I pay my bills on time. Here, let me show you a history of paying my bills on time. So it's called self-reporting. When I pull someone's credit and I see that they are self-reporting, so maybe their cell phone, maybe there's a Verizon or Puget Sound Energy, or whatever your electrical company is, or even cable. I think cable can be on there, so maybe Dish Network or something like that. If I see those reporting on the credit reporting, and it's creating a credit score, we get to use that as a credit score. But the nice thing is that we recognize that those are not true debts. You don't owe anyone. You could cancel it tomorrow. Cancel your cell phone bill tomorrow and you won't have a bill in the future. So since you don't actually owe any debt, it doesn't go into your debt to income, okay? But it can help. So just want to let you know what that is. And I don't currently report, I don't do self-report, so I don't have my utilities reporting to my credit reporting agency. But if you're interested in that, I think what I would do is reach out to your cell phone company or your utility company and see if they will do that. And if they will, then that can help you. Although I would imagine that if you don't make your payments on time, or if you pay late, that could also hurt you. So just think about that. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about debt to income. Debt to income is a ratio, debts divided by income. Okay, so let's talk about what debts are included in that. It's going to be debts that really do traditionally report to credit reporting agencies. So again, car loan, student loan, credit card debt are the most common that I see, especially for first-time home buyers. So we take your the minimum monthly payment, not what you actually pay. A lot of people's minimum monthly payment on a credit card is $25 to $50, but they might pay $100. I'm going to use the minimum. I'm going to use what's showing on the statement that you receive each month. Okay, that's the minimum. So that's the debt part, and then divided by income. And the income is going to be your gross income. That is your before taxes income. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and divide that, and we're going to add in your future home loan payment. Okay, and then that's what your debt to income is. And Habitat for Humanity requires that your debt to income be under 43%. So that's important to know. That's pretty conservative, 43%, although I think that's a really healthy debt to income as well. So then I want to tell you what's in a mortgage payment. Okay, what's in a mortgage payment? There's several things. And I want to explain an escrow account as well. So those are two things that we're going to talk about now. A mortgage payment is going to be your loan, which is principal plus interest. Okay, those are the two obvious. And then in addition to the loan part of your monthly payment, we're going to be adding property taxes. And on a new house, which Habitat for Humanity is usually a new house, where the county does not actually know exactly what that tax bill is going to be, we're going to estimate. and we're going to do an estimate of 1% of the value. And so, for example, let's say that the house appraises for $300,000, then 1% of that is $3,000. And then when you divide $3,000 by 12 months, because we don't we pay a monthly mortgage payment, so we need a monthly property tax, we're going to get the monthly amount. Okay, so the annual amount, it would be just estimated at like $3,000, divide that by 12, and then that 12th of a payment is going to be a part of your monthly payment, your home loan payment. In addition, you're going to need homeowners insurance. Now, homeowners insurance is the minimum amount of insurance that is required on a home loan. Homeowners insurance is usually also considered fire insurance. And you can buy that from any insurance company that you want. You can buy it from the same company that you have your auto insurance through, or you can get it through a different company completely. A lot of my clients start by calling the company that maybe they already know. Maybe they have a relationship with a homeowners or an insurance company, and then they combine maybe their auto with their home, and they get a little bit of a discount of some sort. But that is up to you, and at any point in the future, you can change that. So should you ever want to change your insurance company, you are always able and allowed to do that. Now, the thing about homeowners insurance is that it's an annual cost. Homeowners insurance is always going to be quoted as an annual number. So if you get a quote for $750, well, we need to divide that by 12 so we can figure out what your monthly amount is, and that becomes a part of your monthly payment. Okay. You can always add flood insurance if you're in a flood zone. You'll need to add flood insurance if you're in a flood zone. You can add earthquake insurance if you want. I mean, these are additional insurances that I know that sometimes people elect to have, but homeowners insurance is the minimum. All right, well, what I want to do is go ahead and run by you or explain to you the income guidelines that are that Habitat for Humanity has set, because one of the mission statements of Habitat for Humanity is that it is affordable housing, and that it is for families that make less than the 80% of the area median income. So I want to tell you what those numbers are, and so you can know. Now, mind you, I'm just sharing with you the 2020 numbers. It's what I have available in front of me. So let me get that for you. Okay, here we go. So I have King County and I have Kittitas County's income limits, and I already have them factored out. I've taken 80%. So this income that I'm telling you is exactly what the maximum income is for your to qualify for a Habitat for Humanity home. So in Kittitas County, it depends on how many people are in your household. So I'm going to kind of tell you, like, for one person in your household, what the maximum income is, and then I'll kind of go up from there. And then I'll do King County as well. All right. So in Kittitas County, if you're one person in your household, you have a maximum income of $41,950. Two people, $47,950. Three people, $53,950. Four people, $59,900. And five people, $64,700. And it goes up to 8 people. So if you have 8 people in your household or dependents that live with you, $79,100. Okay, so that's the maximum. And if you make more than that, you make too much. You actually don't qualify for Habitat for Humanity home. There would be other programs available. It just wouldn't be Habitat for Humanity, I believe. So reach out to me if you make too much money and you just want to find out how to get approved for a home loan. But I specifically want to make sure that I'm really focusing and drilling down on what helps you know and get ready to qualify for a Habitat for Humanity home. In King County, of course, it's going to be more, it costs more to live there. One person, $66,700. 2 people, 76,200, 3 people, 85,750, 4 people, 95,250, 5 people, 102,900, and then I'll hop up to 8 people, 125,750. If you have 8 people in your house, then you're allowed to make that much money and still qualify. Okay, I mean, that's really great to know. That does include if you have overtime. It does include if you get bonuses. I'm trying to think like what goes into that. So if you were to look at your 2020, like W-2 that maybe you got in the mail from your employer, if your income shows more than that, then you make too much. If your income shows less than that, then I think that you qualify as far as the income limits. A couple of specifics, they want to make sure that you do live and work in your county that you are applying. So you can't work in a different county. You must be a permanent legal resident of the United States at the time of application, and this must be your primary home, which makes sense. Okay, let's talk about something else. Hi, okay. I think it's a good idea for me to tell you some of the documents that are going to be requested from you when you do apply for a home loan. And that I would then, after reviewing these documents, be able to issue a pre-approval letter. And you're going to need to provide a pre-approval letter to the Habitat for Humanity office before they will put you on the list. So this is all very crucial, important that you know what you need to have from your paperwork point of view so that you're organized and you're ready, okay? So here is what you will need. 1 month of pay stubs for the last 30 days. So if you get paid weekly, we need 4 of those. If you get paid twice a month, we need 2 of those. Monthly, just 1. W-2s for the last year. So if last year, if you had 2 employers, then we'll need 2 of the W-2s. If you only had 1, 1. So we need those. And tax returns. Sometimes we need tax returns, sometimes we don't. But be prepared that you have filed your tax returns, that if there's any amount owing, that you have paid that. You cannot get a pre-approval if you have not filed your most recent tax return. Now, I'm doing this video in March. I do not expect my clients to have already done last year's taxes. They're not due yet. Typically, taxes are due on April 15th. So I'm not saying you have to file your taxes early, but I am saying is that by the due date, whatever that due date is, if it's April 15th, then you would have to have filed your taxes by then, okay? We're also gonna need to know where you've lived for the last 2 years. We don't usually need to get rent checks, but we do need to make sure that we have a history of where you have lived and what you have paid in rent, if that applies to you. And if you have applied for any new debt, and I would say in the last 6 months, we may need to explain what that debt was or what you were applying for. If you opened up new debt, especially recently, we want to make sure we get a statement from that new debt. I'm thinking of like, I know a client that had just gotten a Les Schwab account and he needed some new tires. So I had to get that statement. So if you have opened up new debt very recently, we may need to get that. And then 2 months of bank statements. Even with a Habitat for Humanity home, oftentimes you are going to need to bring a little bit of funds to close the home loan. You don't need to bring it at the time of pre-approval. You're going to need it at the end when you're actually right at the end when your home is completed and you're getting ready to move in and we're closing on that loan. But if you do have any money saved up, that is going to strengthen your application. And if you are self-employed, we will definitely need tax returns on that situation. So, and then the thing is we can combine Habitat for Humanity with any loan type. So if we're eligible with a USDA loan or a VA loan or an FHA loan or a conventional loan, the home fits any of those types of loans. So my job is, as your mortgage loan originator, is to figure out what is your best loan option out there. What is the best fit? And then we will pre-approve you for that, and we will combine it with the Habitat for Humanity program. So if you are a veteran, then that works out great. And if you are purchasing a Habitat home in an area that is USDA, which Kittitas County is usually USDA, then that works out great. So, but you know, in King County, you may not have that USDA option. So I recognize that there's not one fit for everyone, and it is really important to customize a home loan application. I have to customize that so I can make sure that I'm helping you the most that I can, getting you the best rate and the best payment for you. When you are getting that pre-approval letter, I was just on the Habitat for Humanity website, and it says that they want you to reach out to your lender, and they have some preferred lenders on their website. Then you will get pre-approved, and then you will send them the pre-approval letter. And I think that they also want you to send them those same documents that I just listed. So income documentation, asset documentation, and probably will, at that point when you're sending that to the Habitat for Humanity office, if you need any assistance doing that, your loan officer should be able to be of assistance with that. Okay. Since you are getting pre-approved and then the house is being built, you are going to feel like you are going through a pre-approval twice, because you are. You're getting pre-approved so that they can choose you and then build a home for you. Then you're going to do the sweat equity, which I believe is 250 hours of volunteering and working on your home. And then when the house is done, we're going to update everything. So it is important that you realize it's going to feel like you're doing it twice, because you truly are. You are. Your credit's going to be repulled. You're going to provide more pay stubs, more assets, more bank statements, any kind of documentation that may be applicable when the home is done. And I want to make sure that that's not a surprise, not annoying, just part of the process on this one. Again, thank you so much. I think that we have covered a lot of material pretty quickly. I don't want to take too much time, but I really want you to feel that your time was well spent, that you got something out of it. Because I know that it can be a lot, and I'll probably end this video and then think about other things that would have been good to cover. But I'm really hoping that there's a series that this is just video 1, and there'll be video 2 and 3, and we can go ahead and keep covering material that is applicable, helpful. So if you have questions, comments, something specific, please go ahead and reach out to me or put that in the comment section, because I will make a video about it. I want to be able to do that so that I know what you're thinking. I do appreciate your time, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my contact information here below, and you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.